May I commence the proceedings, my lord? தமிழ் தாய் வாழ்த்து.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெளிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதில் சிறந்த திராவிடன திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
May I request the learned Advocate General to give farewell address to the Honorable Chief Justice.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice and other Honorable Judges of the Madras High Court, Mrs. Usha Shriram, Learned Additional Solicitor General A.R.L. Sundaresan, who is online, Learned Additional Advocate Generals Thiru, Ajmal Khan, Veera Kadiravan, Haja Nasiruddin, Kumaresan, Bhaskaran, Ravindran, Raman Lal, Chandramohan, Suresh Kumar, Neelakantan and Muthukumar. Learned State Public Prosecutor Thiru Hasan Muhammad Jinnah, Learned State Government Pleader Thiru A. Edwin Prabhakar, Learned Government Pleader Madurai Thiru P. Tilak Kumar, Learned Government Law Officers of Tamil Nadu at the Principal Bench and Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court, Learned Public Prosecutor of Pondicherry K. S. Mohandas, Learned Government Pleader of Puducherry Thiru S. Ravi Kumar, Learned Government Law Officers of Puducherry and Law Officers of the Union of India, Thiru P.S. Amalraj and Thiru V. Karthikeyan, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Thiru S. Prabhakaran, Vice Chairman of Bar Council of India, Thiru M. Bhaskar, President of Madras Bar Association, Thiru G. Mohankrishnan, President of Madras High Court Advocates Association, Thirumati N.S. Revati, President of Women Lawyers Association, Thiru P. Selvaraj, President of the Law Association and other office bearers of the respective associations, Thiru Isaac Mohan Lal, President of Madurai Bench of Madras High Court Bar Association, Thiru Andi Raj, President Madurai Bench High Court Advocates Association, Thiru M.K. Suresh, President Madurai Bar Association of Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, Thiru V. Ramakrishnan, President of Madras High Court Madurai Bench Advocates Association, Ms. Ananthavalli, President of Women Advocates Association Madurai, Thirumati S. Alli, Registrar General, officers and staff of the Registry of the Madras High Court at the principal seat and its bench at Madurai, fellow senior advocates and beloved advocates, representatives of the electronic media, print media, viewers watching the proceedings online, ladies and gentlemen. அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். Cerebrum, which is the uppermost part of the human brain and constitutes almost 2/3 of its mass, is the portion that is involved inter alia in the process of thinking and language. Cerebellum, which is the Latin word for a little brain, is located below the cerebrum and is mainly important for coordination and cognitive functions. Why am I giving you all a lecture on neurophysics when we are here for a farewell address? The reason is that when cerebrum and cerebellum properly synchronize, speech follows. And speech is what is foremost in my mind these days. Last evening we bid farewell to Justice Kurup. Early this morning I addressed over 500 students on the Founders Day of a leading women's college in Chennai. Beginning next week, I will be welcoming the new Chief Justice, and immediately thereafter I will be bidding farewell to 2 learned judges who are going on transfer. And this will all culminate on Thursday when I have to bid another farewell, this time an adios to an old friend. What this situation has rendered is that both the cerebrum and cerebellum in my mind have become a confounded cocktail, rendering me almost speechless. The preparation for every one of these is time consuming and meticulous, so much so that I have jokingly told my government pleader that if the state or the court requires my assistance in any matter of importance over the next few days, please tell them Mr. Raman will be back to litigation law from next Friday. Until then, to borrow a phrase in the government service, I am on ODD, meaning on other duty. Jokes aside, when the task of bidding farewell to Chief Justice Shriram finally dawned into my head last evening, I was truly overwhelmed with occasion. Eric Siegel wrote a best-selling English novel called Love Story in 1970, which was later made into an even more special film, the theme song of which is called Where Do I Begin? Where do I begin about Chief Justice K.R. Shriram? Do I begin with the time I met a smart young lawyer almost 30 years back in Mumbai? Do I begin with the hugely successful commercial lawyer of the Bombay High Court in the 90s and the early 2000s? Do I begin with the man who sacrificed his silk for the other silk of the bench and adorned it with distinction for 11 years? Or do I begin with Chief Justice Shriram, the 53rd Chief Justice of the Madras High Court? I guess, emotionally charged as I am, I would begin with a little of every one of the above. I had already delivered a welcome address in this very hall on the 27th of September 2024 when I had elaborately narrated the biography of the Chief Justice. To use a lawyer's phraseology in pleadings, may I pray that the address dated 27 September 2024 be treated as part and parcel of this address as well, so that we may avoid prolixity. If that is not permissible, then I could possibly resort to a corporate jurisprudence where the chairman can declare a subject or a matter as taken as read. I will therefore not dwell on Chief Justice Shriram's birth, infant nurture, education, and other scholastic establishments and go straight back to where do I begin. It was somewhere in the early 90s when a shipping matter took me to Mumbai to meet Mr. Venkateswaran, popularly called Venki by his peers and his younger colleagues, arguably one of India's most reputed counsels in maritime law. There I met a stylish young man, an able understudy of Venki. That interaction stopped with that matter, but the memory of the day is strong. It was a 30-year-old lawyer called K.R. Shriram. The lawyer thereafter started his own career, and in a high court that was full of some champion litigation lawyers in both admiralty and commercial jurisdiction, he started excelling, and a well-deserved designation as senior counsel led him to further fame and fortune. I will borrow one bit from my welcome address in talking about his stellar performance as an arguing counsel before the Kerala High Court and thereafter in the Supreme Court in the case of the Kochi Port Trust regarding demurrage on carrier agents beyond 75 days. I quote from my address, "Your Lordship's victory there had almost single-handedly saved the entire shipping industry in India." The next chapter of the life and times of Chief Justice Shriram was on 27 June 2013 when he did something which has completely endeared him to me and certainly to all of us here. Accepting the call from the bench, Your Lordship readily gave up an exceedingly lucrative practice to take on judgeship. Yesterday, I had shamefacedly admitted to have done very little travel within Tamil Nadu, and today I may again shamefacedly admit that I declined what Your Lordships accepted, despite being pushed by well-meaning senior judges of the Madras High Court. It takes a lot of character and a spirit of sacrifice to what you did, and I salute you for that. In the 11 years Your Lordship adorned the bench of the Bombay High Court, one of the most important moments of your judicial career must undoubtedly be something you did in the middle of the COVID pandemic. I recall your memory to the case of Raj Shipping Agencies versus Barge Madhwa, a judgment you delivered on 19th May 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in the welcome address, it is the only Indian judicial pronouncement in admiralty law that has featured in the Lloyd's Law Reports Plus, a premium edition that places you amongst the pantheon of that genre of jurists, a truly well-deserving commendation, sir. Now coming to the last part of your journey, Do I begin with the rumors that started in the corridors of Madras High Court in June 2024 about the possibility of a judge from Bombay taking over as Chief Justice of the Madras High Court? Maybe I can begin with a phone call I made to your lordships on 13th July to reintroduce myself as the Advocate General of the state. Or maybe I could begin with yesterday morning when you initially sat with the retiring Judge Justice Kuru briefly and then reassembled as the regular first bench with Justice Sundar Mohan. Yes, I will start with yesterday. In the last 10 years or so, Chief Justices have had sittings with retiring judges on their last day, and your lordship did the same, but that is not what I want to talk about. It is about what happened thereafter when you resumed the regular bench. Several lawyers of this bar, including myself, who did not have any cases on your board, voluntarily came into that courtroom, and with your kind permission, many of them spoke out their mind, extolling your successful innings in the Madras High Court. I knew how emotional your lordship felt at that point. It is a fact that pleasing words coming from a heart which has nothing to gain is possibly the most endearing moment anyone can have. I am sure that in those few minutes, your lordship realized that when you leave Chennai, what an extraordinary reservoir of goodwill and friendship you are leaving behind. I myself abstained from saying anything so that I could keep my gunpowder dry for this evening. But for those who are not there, let me tell you that Chief Justice Shriram, without any diffidence, admitted with candor how much he appreciated the bar of this court. I am sure he will have more to say about it this evening. Thank you, sir, for those kind words. Ever since the practice of having Chief Justice from outside the state, we have had the benefit of fine jurists from the land of the Marathas, starting with Justice M.N. Chandurkar in 1994, Justice A.P. Shah in 2005, Justice Vishya Tayal Ramani in 2018, Justice Ganga Purwala in 2023, and finally, your lordship in 2024. You are, for us, the icing on the cake because after Justice M.M. Ismail remitted office as the last local Chief Justice, you are the first one to sit in courtroom number 1 and flawlessly spout Thirukural. It is ironic that one of the last public functions you addressed in Kanyakumari a few weeks back was when you spoke about Thirukural being the forerunner of the modern concept of social justice. About the conduct of the first court itself, I have to make one observation which is endorsed by several of my colleagues. In the world of cinema, it is critically accepted that a great actor is one who is able to perform in such a way that the other artists around him also stand out and don't get overshadowed. From the first day when your lordship sat in the first bench with Justice Senthil Kumar Ramamurthy, and thereafter with Justice Shafiq, and finally with Justice Sundar Mohan, each time the court was different. The quality of justice was the same, but the court itself would feel a little different because of the latitude your lordship gave to the judges sitting with you. Even yesterday in the first court, your lordship had a kind word to say about your brother judge and complimenting his manner of delivering judgments. This is a hallmark of a true leader. Though it is just over 9 months, your lordship has delivered judgments in almost all branches and subject to correction, barring criminal law. Special mention can be made of public interest litigations where your lordship started listing long pending cases on a designated time every week. In addition, your lordship had also sat on the commercial appeals jurisdiction as well as arbitration appeals under section 37. It is in the last 2 subjects that I had often had an opportunity to argue before you. While doing these matters in those 2 areas, the members of the bar were surprised at the ease with which your lordship would come to the crux of the matter, and what would normally have consumed several hours would be disposed of without much ado. In the last year, before your lordship came to Madras High Court, your lordship was presiding over the tax bench in Madurai. In yesterday's court sitting, your lordship had recalled your pleasure while doing tax matters, which was a relatively new subject to you, and how therefore you also took up some tax cases in our High Court, much to the enjoyment of the tax bar here, the members of whom were again the subject matter of high praise from your lordship last morning. At your lordship's request, I have abstained from referring to several landmark judgments pronounced by you, but I shall compile a few of them and add it to this address with your permission. On a personal note, from the day I spoke to your Lordship over the telephone till this moment, I have had an excellent relationship. I will personally be missing the company of your Lordship and your lovely wife Usha, who too I have a tremendous regard for. I thought I would be giving a farewell in September, or maybe even earlier if you go to New Delhi, but it is otherwise. In a way, I am giving your Lordship a farewell to go to Delhi. For all my friends from the bar here, as well as your brothers and sister judges, would agree with me that when your Lordship retires from Rajasthan in September, Delhi is where you should be, and go back to your litigation days and take Bhagwan Das Road by storm with your felicity in commercial litigation. On behalf of the members of the bar of the Madras High Court, as well as the Madurai bench, we wish you the very best on your transfer to Rajasthan, a state which is full of history and beauty, both of which I am sure you and Usha will have a chance to experience and enjoy. I would like to conclude today with a popular Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall softly upon your fields. And until we meet again, my friend, may God hold you in the palm of his hands. Farewell, Chief Justice Shriram, and wish you all health and happiness. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I request the Honorable Chief Justice to offer acceptance speech.
Sister and brother judges of the Madras High Court, Shri P.S. Raman, Advocate General of Tamil Nadu, Mr. A.R.L. Sundareshan, who has joined us online, Additional Solicitor General of India, all learned additional advocates general, there are many of them, and learned additional Solicitor Generals, public prosecutors of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, government pleaders of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, chairman, learned senior advocates, President, Secretary and Office Bearers of the Madras Bar Association, President, Secretary and Office Bearers of the Madras High Court Advocates Association, President, Secretary and Office Bearers of the Women Lawyers Association, President, Secretary and Office Bearers of the various bar associations of the Madurai bench of Madras High Court, Registrar General, Additional Registrar General at Madurai, registrars, officers and staff members of the principal seat and the Madurai branch of the Madras High Court, all other members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen, Ellovarukkum Male Vanakkam. I thank the learned Advocate General for the encomiums expressed about me. To serve as the Chief Justice of the Madras High Court has been a privilege and honor. This institution is not merely a court, it is a living testament to history, a cradle of legal scholarship, and a beacon of justice with roots stretching back to centuries. Its walls resonate with the wisdom of legendary jurists and the tireless pursuit of justice that defines our great nation. To have been a part of this great institution fills me with immense pride. My deepest appreciation goes to my sister and brother judges. Your unwavering support, collegial spirit, and shared dedication to upholding the majesty of the law have been the bedrock of my tenure. Our deliberations in pursuit of justice have enriched me immensely. I carry your camaraderie and wisdom with me. I am confident this bench will continue to scale new heights. This court will continue to scale new heights under its future leadership. To the learned members of the bar, I extend my heartfelt thanks. Your eloquence, erudition, and tireless advocacy are the lifeblood of this institution. You have challenged us, assisted us, and upheld the highest traditions of the legal profession. The dynamic interaction between the bench and the bar in Madras is truly special. I have learned much from your arguments and your commitments to your clients and the cause of justice. Thank you for your cooperation and stimulating intellectual environment you foster. I must acknowledge the role of the registrars, officers, and staff members of the High Court. Your dedication, efficiency, and quiet diligence, despite the heavy workload and complexity, keep the wheels of justice running smooth. Your commitment to your duties is a foundation upon which all else rests. Please accept my profound gratitude for your indispensable service. Serving the people of Tamil Nadu through this High Court has been a responsibility I cherished. The rich culture, the intellectual fervor, and the very spirit of Tamil Nadu has left an indelible mark. Tamil Nadu is always dearer to my heart. I embrace the new responsibility in Rajasthan with renewed dedication. The Rajasthan High Court too is an institution of great stature and history. I view this transfer as a focused opportunity to serve the cause of justice. Though my tenure there will be brief, I pledge to devote every single day to upholding the Constitution, supporting my new colleagues on the bench and the bar in Rajasthan, and contributing meaningfully to the administration of justice in that state till my superannuation. As I prepare to depart, I reflect with immense satisfaction on the journey traversed within these court halls. The challenges we face together, striving for efficiency, tackling pendency, embracing technology, and safeguarding the rights of the citizens, have defined our purpose. I carry with me cherished memories and invaluable lessons learned. My time here may be concluding, but my faith in the enduring strength and independence of the Indian judiciary, embodied so powerfully by this Madras High Court, remains absolute. I have every confidence that this great institution will continue to flourish, guided by the principles of justice, equity, and the rule of law. I would like to particularly mention about the services of Mrs. Ali, the Registrar General, Mr. Sitaraman, Registrar Judicial, Mrs. Shubha Ambumani, Registrar District Judiciary, Shriram, Mr. Jaishankar, Registrar Cum Private Secretary, with whom I have spent more time than with my wife in the last 9.5 months. Mr. Srinivasan, Joint Registrar Cum Additional Private Secretary. If my speeches have been good, he gets the credit. If the speeches have been boring, also he gets the flag. Mr. Shashi, Senior Private Secretary attached to my chambers. But for him, I would have spent a lot of time reading my orders and judgments. The quality in him was he would read the orders typed by others, highlight if there are any errors, so that my attention is brought to that. Mr. Bhaskar, Mr. Anandraj, Mrs. Radhika, Mrs. Punyalakshmi, and Jai Ganesh, PAs, who is to attend to my court. Mrs. Pavitra and Mrs. Shanti, court officers. My chamber attenders, Jyoti, Peter, and Velu. My drivers, Kannan, Srinivasan, and Kanagaraj. My personal security officers, Mr. Veerannan, Mr. Govindaraj, and Arun Kumar, and the entire security team, whose exemplary service have made my official journey comfortable. The exemplary services of staff members at my residence, Deepak Kumar, Govindaraj, Jayamani, Muruganandam, Satish, another Govindaraj, Janita, Riswana Barween, Rajeshwari, Girija, Ramachandran, have made my stay and that of my wife comfortable. Now you would know why I did not take the names of all office bearers in the beginning. I started with Thiru, and I wouldn't say conclude now, I'm going to say the same Thirukural, which is 391, Karka Kasadara Karpavai Katrapin Nirka Adarkataga, which means learning thoroughly what should be learned, and having learned, stand according to that. Now you will realize why what I learned in Bombay High Court, the 11 years before I came to Chennai and why I was insistent on getting a letter or a precipi as to why the urgency is, and why I was not happy giving any ex parte orders because of the pendency which I have seen here. And that is what I learned thoroughly in Bombay and by which I stood by. So having said that, I started my journey with Karka Kasadara and stood by it, embracing the timeless wisdom to learn thoroughly and diligently. Even now, my journey continues through the depths of deep learning, seeking knowledge with perseverance and curiosity. I was an accidental lawyer. I never dreamt of becoming a lawyer. Then I never dreamt of ever becoming a judge. In fact, when my father asked me in 2005, would you accept judgeship, I said, no, I will not. Then I became a judge in 2013. I thought I would retire as a puisne judge, maybe spend a couple of months in the administrative committee. Circumstances paved way. I became a judge, Chief Justice, and that too of a principal chartered high court like Madras. Never ever thought, even I was shocked when I heard that I was being sent to Madras High Court. And then just 10 weeks, with I counted some 48 working days left for me, I'm given another responsibility as Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court, another Premier High Court. Perhaps the Lord Almighty wanted to render justice, having done for some people in Bombay High Court, using this body and soul, and for some more in Madras, and a few more in Rajasthan, should be given justice through me. I thank the Almighty for giving this opportunity. And I assure you, as much I would say when I go there to Rajasthan, that I have continued, the way I have worked the last 12 years and about 25 days, I'll continue to work. Continue to work. Even now, my journey continues through the depths of deep learning, seeking knowledge and perseverance and curiosity. By saying so, I bid adieu, carrying forward the spirit of continuous growth and discovery. I thank you all for this honor, for your kindness, and for your partnership in the noble endeavor of justice. Having said that, it's my duty to mention about the quality of assistance I received from the bar. And I was really immensely pleased to see a lot of lady lawyers appearing in the court and doing a fantastic job. Must compliment them. In Tamil Nadu, I have seen a lot of ladies coming forward. I must mention when Justice Sundar was also there, in the recent recruits in the judicial service, out of 230 new recruits, 135 were ladies, and that shows the growth, the progress in this wonderful state. The other day when I administered oath to 1,200 new lawyers, of that 550 were ladies. That also is a phenomenal figure. We must compliment the state for that. The senior advocates I mentioned yesterday in the court, you ask a question, the answers would come straight from them. They never had to look to the left or the right, to the junior colleagues, asking them, what do I say, what is your answer for that? That showed the level of preparedness they would come to court with. On the choice of roster that I took, I wanted to do direct tax before my term ends, and I enjoyed it. The last 6 weeks, was it 6 weeks or 7 weeks? Yeah, 6 weeks. It was really fantastic. Though I started with taking it up only on Tuesdays, I extended it to the second half of Thursdays because I realized by now I had reduced the number of new PILs being filed in this court, so I didn't have to devote that much time. But I must tell the journey in this court in the last 9.5 months have been very enjoyable. All were very, very supportive. Yes, new place, new ideas, changes are also always a little difficult to accept. But otherwise, overall, I had a good stay here. Thank you very much. And I'm sure you will continue with the same kind of fervor and support to my successor. God bless one and all. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, my lord. May I conclude the proceedings, my lord? National anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता